the summer of 1987, the gods of cinema blessed us with Creepshow 2, the lesser-known but just as lovable sequel to the comedy horror classic Creepshow. Making a sequel to a popular movie is hard. In the eyes of the fans, unless that movie is named The Empire Strikes Back, it will never be as good as the first one. The first step in making a good sequel is to have as much of the creative team from the original movie as possible contributing to the production. The more creative talent that changes hands, the more the project suffers. So how does Creepshow 2 measure up in that regard? Pretty good, actually. As with the first movie, George Romero spearheaded the project. This time around, he served as scriptwriter instead of director, and he handed off the directorial duties to Michael Gornick. I have no idea who this guy is. His Wikipedia page isn't even in English, but he did serve as the cinematographer for the first movie, so good choice. Stephen King, who of course wrote the script for the first movie, really only had a minor role, but all the segments were based on his short stories. And of course, Tom Savini returned to splatter his charm all over the set. And they changed up the format a little bit. Instead of 5 segments, there's 3, with an animated wraparound tying all the segments together. They abandoned the comic book frame and panel format of the original in favor of having each segment being introduced by the creep himself, which I thought was a good choice. I can't say as to whether or not this style is better or worse than the original, it's just different. It helps set Creepshow 2 apart without completely abandoning its roots. Alright, let's get into it. The movie opens up with a creep working his day job as a newspaper deliveryman, and we meet little Billy, who's eagerly waiting for his next issue of Creepshow.
I've never seen anyone so impatient, Billy, as if your life depended on getting the first copy off the presses.
Then the movie takes the tried and true cost-saving method of switching from live action to animation, and let's just go ahead and get Billy's story out of the way. Billy's being harassed by a group of neighborhood bullies, apparently being led by Ethan Suplee's character from The Butterfly Effect, but Billy came up with a pretty ingenious way to deal with his problems. He ordered some giant Venus flytrap bulbs from one of his copies of Creepshow.
It's a Venus flytrap bulb.
A Venus what bulb?
Venus flytrap. It's a plant that eats meat.
He leads the bullies to a nice secluded area where he's been cultivating them, and bippity-boppity-boo, all his problems are solved.
Venus flytraps. Giant Venus flytraps. They eat meat.
Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to the main event.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.
We got a sweet old couple, George and Martha, real original. They run a general store in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, and they do the obligatory exposition dump, talking about how they're falling on hard times, but things will get better, blah, 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 blah.
This store, Ray, at one time sat in the middle of a thriving young town that seemed to have a future. Look at it now. The town of Dead River is finally living up to its name.
Oh, and George has an unusual attachment to his old cigar store Indian. That information will be useful later on. Anyways, the town is near a reservation, and the tribe has racked up a sizable debt with George and Martha. So one of the elders, Benjamin, offers a large collection of jewelry as collateral for the debt.
These are the things my people hold precious. Each family has offered one of its most cherished treasures. You will keep them until our debts are paid.
And just as soon as Benjamin leaves, his delinquent nephew Sam robs the store and demands the family jewels.
All right, old man. There's one more little item you'll have to turn over if you want this woman to live.
What is it?
That bag full of rock candy that my uncle brought over here today.
And this guy is 100% Native American. I don't want to hear any wild accusations about how they threw a wig on a white guy dressed up in red face. With him are his 2 cronies who only go by nicknames, Rich Boy, who looks like Waldo going through a punk phase, and Fat Stuff, who is literally seen eating in every scene. I am really tired of that stereotype that fat people just, can't stop eating, like we just have to constantly shove food in our mouth, So, as you'd expect, Chief, totally not a white guy, kills George and Martha and makes off with the jewels.
Why?
Okay, who wants to speculate about what's going to happen next? Anyone at all?
Anyone? Anyone?
Dude, get in the car before that creepy-ass wooden Indian comes to life and scalps us all! So, brace yourself. Old Chief Woodenhead comes to life, seeking revenge. Fat Stuff gets the shaft. See what I did there? The rich boy gets hacked to pieces. Now, his parents are like 30 feet away. I kind of feel like they should have heard that commotion.
What's that noise?
I don't know. Probably some ancient spirit on a quest for vengeance. Now hush, Rockford's on. And lastly, he goes after Sam in a pretty satisfying climax. Oh no, not the wig!
Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech.
Meet Deke, Laverne, Randy, and Rachel. 4 fun-loving college students on their way to a secluded lake for a fun-filled day of premarital sex, drug abuse, topped off by a grisly death. Living the dream, guys. Okay, so, who wants to guess what's going to kill them? Silent masked killer with a butcher knife. Silent masked killer with a machete. Silent masked killer with a chainsaw.
Get away from there, Rachel! Dodge!
Huh, ain't never seen that before. Okay, who had flesh-eating oil slick? So yeah, Rachel gets eaten, and Deke and Randy proceed to argue with each other like they're in a Facebook comment section.
Ate Rachel! It ate her up, man! It fucking ate her up! What is this thing, Poncho?
I don't know.
And Laverne just waits impatiently for her cue to show her tits and die.
Poncho, you think we can swim it?
You saw how fast it went, Rachel.
Yeah, well, maybe it was hungry then. You know, now maybe it's full, huh?
And their theory is incorrect. He is not full. Randy, throw me your shorts. You can't let me die wearing Speedos. There's always room for horny teenagers. So Randy surmises as long as they don't stand on a crack, they're perfectly safe.
I'm gonna put you down. I can't get you if you stand on a board. I can't. Hold on.
Definitely a long-term solution to your problem there, buddy. Randy and Laverne wind up spending the entire night on the raft. Morning comes, and I'm just going to skip right past the sexual assault. Now, I wasn't doing nothing. Hey, Randy. This is your opportunity, buddy. Make a break for it. Come on, man. God's opening a door. All you gotta do is walk through it.
Yeah, I wanted to lose a little weight, but this isn't what I had in mind.
Okay. Monster Movie Survival 101. If your friend is being eaten, that is your opportunity to flee. Don't listen to the director. The audience only needs one reaction shot. Get the fuck out of there. And if you do manage to escape, do not turn around to gloat just because you think you've reached minimal safe distance.
I beat you!
Geez, you know, that information might have been a little more useful to me yesterday.
A spooky, scary skeleton shouts startling, shrilly screams.
This one's pretty basic. You got a well-to-do woman driving alone at night. She accidentally runs over a hitchhiker, but can't be bothered with a police investigation, so she just drives off.
Hey, I don't have to put up with this. I'm rich.
Of course, the ghost of the dead man haunts her relentlessly. But of course, it's not that simple. You see, there are rules that horror movies must follow.
It's the rules.
In order for a protagonist to receive karmic justice, they must be perceived as amoral. Now, I think running over a man and then just leaving without trying to render any kind of aid is pretty damned amoral. But Hollywood disagrees, so they tacked on this subplot about her cheating on her husband with a gigolo.
Annie, please, come on. You've got your Mercedes. I'm never going to get mine at these prices.
That's what you quoted me.
Bye, love. I hope you're not in Dutch. I can get you a good attorney if it comes to that.
I've got a good attorney. My husband. And I don't want to lose him.
Ladies, just putting this out there.
He charges $150, but that's for 6, count 'em, 6 orgasms.
I can get you a much better deal.
Didn't you take economics? You could have me for $49.95.
So anywho, yeah, she's struggling to come to terms with what she's done when all of a sudden... oh no, the guy I just killed is still alive trying to kill me. Oh god, what do we do? What I find interesting, though, this guy doesn't act like a normal vengeance-seeking spirit. He's clearly undead, he's clearly unkillable, but he still takes damage. A lot of damage.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
And it's kind of like he doesn't want to be there.
Okay. You win. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the light, alright? Aw, man.
Towards the end, you're really feeling sorry for him. Man, this is bullshit! Patrick Swayze got Whoopi Goldberg! And I'm stuck with this crazy-ass white woman who can't drive! So, I have a theory.
It could be bunnies.
No, it's not bunnies. While this woman is receiving her cosmic justice, this guy's receiving his as well. Maybe he's a serial killer and his plan was to kill her, or maybe he's one of those assholes that talks on his cell phone during a movie. Who knows? Point is, maybe his personal hell is to be run over by this woman over and over and over, while her personal hell is to have to run him over and over and over. Very efficient system. So anyways, she finally runs him over enough times to kill him, drags her muffler on home, and wait for it.
I don't believe it.
And that's Creepshow 2. A great follow-up to a great movie. But that's just my personal opinion. Of course, critics shit all over it because it wasn't some transcendent journey exploring the complexities of the human condition and blah, 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 blah. And it didn't really do well at the box office. I think it only made like $15 million. I mean, even in 1987, that's pretty sad. But in later years, it has definitely achieved cult status. A lot of people are fans of this movie, myself included. So naturally, they made another sequel. I already gave my thoughts on Creepshow 3 in my last Creepshow review, so I will not be discussing this movie any further. There will not be a review of Creepshow 3.
By Worf's bony ridges. Nerd law dictates you must review the entire franchise.
It's not part of the franchise, okay? Some idiots just license the name. The movie has nothing to do with EC Comics, alright?
Nerd law must be upheld.
Okay, fine. But it's gonna be a shortcut, and it's gonna be right now. This movie sucks. Well, that's all I got to say about Creepshow 3. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Okay, are you happy?
Yes, Nerd Law has been satisfied.
God, I need to fire this guy.
You can't fire me, I'm union.
What union? You don't even exist?
The union of voices inside Butch's head.
The voices in my head?
Prince of Eternia, defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer.
Well, that's all I gotta say about Creepshow 2. A worthy follow-up to an icon of horror comedy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.